When we talk about what makes us excited for a movie, we often refer to the trailers.
How great was this moment? How cool did that look? That was funny, that was beautiful, that was awesome!
Your hype for an upcoming film is often a reaction to the subjective quality of its trailer. You're seeing things that you liked, so you'll see the movie or vice versa. And with franchises and sequels, it's probably just the branding alone that'll get you in through the door. How often though do you find yourself sitting in a cinema thinking, shit, I was expecting better? Or just outright thinking to yourself,
holy shit, that was trash!
When you base your expectations of a movie on a trailer, that's bound to happen. Which is why I don't. If you saw Jay's video from a while back on why we don't need trailers for The Last Jedi, you may remember the process we use for figuring out if you should jump on the hype train for an upcoming movie or not. Look at who's making it. I feel like 99% of the time, looking at each of the major players involved in a production and then testing them against their track record will be your strongest indicator of how a movie is going to turn out. And we found that when we're really paying attention, it's hard to go wrong with that.
What about Assassin's Creed last year? Remember that?
Yeah, we didn't look at the writers and producers, okay? It was an honest mistake. Our strike rate in 2017 has been perfect so far. Go away.
Let's apply that same strategy to Blade Runner 2049. Blade Runner 2049 is arguably the most anticipated movie of 2017, or at least the one people seem to be making the most fuss about. Sure, at this stage we still have Thor, Justice League and Star Wars on the horizon, but it feels like we all know kind of what to expect from those, whereas Blade Runner, we don't. Or do we? Let's break it down.
Twitter already loved it, so we know that it's good.
Shut up! This video was more about making a point, so I'm doing it anyway.
Ridley Scott, the director of the original Blade Runner back in 1982, has been trying to get this sequel off the ground since the 90s. First it was an adaptation of The Edge of Human, which was like a shitty sequel book, and then something else entirely that focused on the off-world colonies, and then it was a prequel short film series, and so on and so on and so on until it arrived back in sequel form in 2011. In 2015, Denis Villeneuve,
yeah, I'm just gonna call him Denis because I'm definitely not getting that name right every single time,
was confirmed as director, with Scott stepping back into the role of an executive producer. That's a smart move. At the time, Denis had just made both Prisoners and Enemy back in 2013. Prisoners was adored by critics and audiences alike, and Enemy just had something about it that got people excited. Both were dark, dense dramas with aching tension and acute paranoia. Denis was also known for the critical juggernaut Incendies, which focused on Canadian twins that returned to the native country of their mother after her death to uncover her past through cryptic clues she leaves for them in her will. It's incredibly complex, provocative stuff made all the more impressive by the fact that Denis actually wrote the film too. Go watch it.
Yeah, I'm just not too good with the French stuff, so I'm not really gonna try too much anymore.
Bear in mind, this was his track record when he signed on, before his next 2 home runs. Sicario premiered just a few months after he signed in 2015, and well, it pretty much knocked everyone's socks off.
FBI!
Sicario is like the cinematic embodiment of seat-gripping tension. Anyone who's seen the border crossing sequence of this cartel crime drama knows exactly what I'm talking about. Denis orchestrates this thing with such precision and skill that it's kind of a wonder to behold. And so before Blade Runner had even started shooting, what did we know this guy could do? He could explore complex themes through interesting characters as he puts them through the mental ringer, all while keeping you on the back foot and on the edge of your seat. And he could do it consistently too, and that's crucial here. Then, he took it to the next level. Arrival arrived in 2016. Right then, I actually made that joke, I hate myself. Arrival arrived in 2016, and right then, we knew it. 2049 was in the best hands possible. From the very first shot, Arrival announced itself as something transcendent. This didn't feel like the Denis we'd come to know so far. This was emotional, This was breathtaking. This was truly heartbreaking cinema. Of all the movies he could have demonstrated these attributes in, Denis chose to deploy them in a mind-bending sci-fi about a linguistics expert trying to communicate with alien visitors. The first 5 minutes of Arrival was like Up for adults but on emotional sucker punch crack. Seeing the entire life of a child play out from the moment they're born to their tragically early end, all through the eyes of their mother, I mean, what the f***? I don't think anyone expected that at all. The trailer sure as shit didn't sell the film that way, and it had me outright bawling my eyes out in under 60 seconds.
Yeah, but like seriously, you need to go and watch Arrival, it's such a good movie.
So yeah, this guy has the full range and a track record that's kind of infallible, and all of that stacks up to kind of screaming,
I'm the right guy to do this.
Not only that, but he has a world-class team of collaborators at his disposal that all came on board for Blade Runner. First up, Roger Deakins. Here's the one time the trailers do count, and even then, this guy's filmography kind of just speaks for itself. 13 Oscar nominations and all for all of this. The Shawshank Redemption, Fargo, Kundun, Oh Brother Where Art Thou, The Man Who Wasn't There, No Country for Old Men, Jesse James, The Reader, True Grit, Skyfall, Prisoners, Broken, Sicario, and in 2018, you can damn well bet he's getting nominated for Blade Runner again because just look at it. I mean, the only thing trailers ever really tell you for sure is if the visuals are any good, and in that department, we can rest easy because Deakins took it to the next level. Rounding out the team is the Oscar-nominated editor of Arrival, Sicario, and 12 Years a Slave, the art director of Game of Thrones and Children of Men, the production designer of Skyfall and Into the Woods, the casting director of The Revenant, Birdman, and Wonder Woman, and holy shit, I am out of breath, but just look at all of this quality. Up until a few months ago too, Johan Johansson was the composer of the film, bringing his talents displayed on The Theory of Everything, Sicario, and Arrival. Johansson's task was monumental as Vangelis' score of the original Blade Runner is next level iconic, and it was up to him to evoke that same sound. I said up until a few months ago because while Denis has said that Johansson nailed Vangelis' synths, he needed something more. So in came Hans Zimmer and Benjamin Wallfish, whose name I probably mispronounced, but that's... I tried. Since then, Johansson has outright left the project, which would usually set off alarm bells if not for two things. One, unbeknownst to most people, that incredible piece from the beginning and ending, or just the ending, wink wink, of Arrival isn't actually by Johansson, but by the Leftovers composer Max Richter. All this is telling us is that Denis isn't afraid to outsource for tracks if he needs that extra emotional kick, and that is very, very exciting to think that we could be staring down the barrel of another emotional ass-kicking like Arrival offered, but in a Blade Runner movie. Two, it's Hans Zimmer. The Lion King, The Dark Knight, Pirates of the Caribbean, Inception, Interstellar, Dunkirk, enough said. This soundtrack is going to annihilate. The cast? Ryan Gosling is killing it this decade with acclaimed roles in hits like La La Land and The Nice Guys, but if you've seen him in Drive, you know that he's perfect for this. Case closed. Harrison Ford is Harrison Ford, and that speaks for itself. You get a good director and you get a good Jared Leto, and apparently Leto was good enough to bring Villeneuve to tears on set, so, you know, there's that. Robin Wright? You mean 4 years consecutively Emmy-nominated Robin Wright? Okay. Ana de Armas? Not many people saw War Dogs, but goddamn was she good in that. And you know, there's Drax from Guardians. Batista's always fun. You're probably wondering by now why I haven't mentioned the writers. Simple. They're the only iffy aspect. The original Blade Runner writer Hampton Fancher is back, and while this dude hasn't done much lately, he did write the original Blade Runner. The potential problem here is 2017's king of hit and miss, Michael Green. Green hit a home run with Logan in March, but then tripped and ate dirt just 2 months later with Alien Covenant. Granted, he did write the TV adaptation of American Gods with Brian Fuller, so maybe that counteracts that for you? God forbid you thought Covenant had good writing, but if so, nothing to see here, move along. So, bearing all of this in mind, will 2049 be good? I personally don't think I've ever seen this many good things stacked in the favour of a sequel ever, especially one that comes out this far after its original. Do I think it'll compare to the original? 2049 doesn't really have a choice but to compare, because that is all people are going to do. If you're expecting this to be a better film, you're probably in for a big serving of disappointment, but you just as easily might be walking away thinking that it surpasses it. The most telling sign of all, I think, is that Denis has confirmed that this is his cut, straight up. There isn't going to be like 5 different versions because this is the version Denis wants you to see. He's confident, and I think we can be confident too, considering all of the mastery behind this thing. So yeah, Blade Runner 2049 will be good.
And Twitter kind of confirmed it.
Yeah, I get it.
That may have been the long answer to a simple question, but it's also something that takes literally 30 seconds to explore for yourself on IMDb. That's what I do. A little bit of research goes a long way because I've been able to rest easy since day one that 2049 would deliver. Point being, next time you see a trailer for a movie you haven't heard of, don't blindly put your faith in a piece of marketing material designed to interest you at all costs. Remember, trailers don't always represent the actual movie. Do a bit of research yourself, and it may just save you a whole lot of anxiety. Okay guys, so we made it. I've finally done another video essay. It has been an entire year since my Suicide Squad one last year, but I really wanted to talk about Blade Runner before it was out. Unfortunately, reviews made it up before this video was out, so the video is kind of void. So thank you to anyone who's stuck through it to watch it up to this point anyway. I want to be doing these videos every fortnight. From now on, I want to be analysing different films, different ideas, different types of things. And to do so, we've kind of set up a Patreon so that you guys can help support all this extra content, because these videos take 20 times as long as a normal review or reaction video does, so it's a massive amount of work on our behalf. And I guess, yeah, with the Patreon, if you pledge, you get early access to finding out what the next video is, as well as getting to see the video early, and it's just kind of a way of thinking, like, I don't know, just kind of saying thank you and helping us kind of grow our resources and grow our channel, because the more help we get, the more stuff we can do, and considering we spend all of our time working on this channel, that would just be super, super appreciated. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys again in whatever video we do next, but I will be back to do it with a new video essay in a few weeks. Thank you, thank you, thank you.